Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our time with the wonderful and amazing Coach Willett, my husband, my in house comedian who always keeps me laughing and taught me how to have fun. I know those people who have known me for a long time know I'm a very serious person, and Coach Willett is a very fun loving person. And I had to learn how to have fun. So thank you, sweetheart, for teaching me that. How are you today?
Fantastic. Couldn't be any better, especially now I'm here with you.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. That's wonderful to hear. I always appreciate your compliments. I do want to start with I know half the country is frozen, and it was a high of 50 at our house today. And I call that Florida cold, right? Because now we live in Florida. And comment below if anybody has any opinions about that. And so I'm not a big fan of having to wear a bunch of different layers. I like the shorts and the flip flops. That's what I like. How do you feel about the cold?
I just despise the cold. It hurts me to the bone.
What about all the layers? Do you like carrying 47 jackets in the car on your way to work?
No, actually, this morning we were in football workouts, and we're outside running, and out there at 6 a.m. this morning it was 36, and it felt like 28, which in Florida it really doesn't register anywhere. It just says very cold, and there's ice everywhere, but not really. But you feel that way because it's so not common here. And this kid, he has got sweats on and a short sleeve shirt, and they're running. And he says, "I'm cold, but I'm not that cold." He looks like he's getting ready to go skiing because I had on a Scully, two hoods, a balaclava face cover, and probably 3-4 layers up top with a jacket, gloves, and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't.
Not a fan.
Too cold for me. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It's a lot
Yeah.
of work. Last Christmas, not this past Christmas, the Christmas before when we went to Savannah, it was so cold. And I was like, look, look, I don't want to deal with all these layers. And so that brings us to dealing with life on life's terms. Now, you say that to me. You've said that to me you said it to me the other day, actually, because I was complaining about something, which everyone knows is my favorite, complaining, which I'm working on. And you said you just have to deal with life on life's terms. That's just what it is. Oh, I know what it was. I wanted to get a heated chocolate croissant at Starbucks. And the lady said, or I wanted it not heated because I like to save it for later. And she said, we have to heat it now. And I was not happy.
It just destroys your world when
It destroyed me.
You wonder why a large organization like that doesn't consult with the individual about the plans they're making and the decisions they're making. Like, what? You didn't
leadership, right?
What are you doing? Who do you think's in charge around here? That is good though.
Yeah, you said you have to deal with life on life's terms. Those were your exact words. Now, I know I don't still really understand completely what that means. Maybe I'm avoiding understanding it, but can you just walk us all through that? What does that mean? Act like I'm a 5-year-old because I really can't grasp it.
It starts with God. God gives us everyone free will. Believe in him or not, doesn't matter. You get free will. Live, especially in America, most anywhere honestly, wherever you live, you have free will. You can decide to do what you want to do. And there's ramifications and consequences that go along with a lot of that, which involves decision making and all that, which is all those things I just mentioned is a whole show in itself. But with that free will, people have the freedom to decide and make choices and on a daily basis, and they do. And then some things happen. They just happen. And it may not be the way you want it to go. It may not be the way that you planned. May not be the way you thought it was going to go. It may not be the way that it started out to be. And it twisted. Like, I look at it this way. A guy's leaving the house and he spills coffee all over his shirt. And he has to go back and change. And he's mad because he's borderline late anyway. And he's mad. He's kicking stuff and he's upset. But he goes, he can't go to work. So he goes and he changes his shirt and he goes and then he pulls out, he gets onto the road and he's stopped in traffic. There was a car accident. And little beknownst at the time that he was angry that accident allowed him to miss a car accident that could have injured him or taken his life. Now, these things happen a lot, maybe to not that magnitude, but the whole Starbucks thing. I mean, that's one of those things. And what we need to do is be aware and say, okay, you know what? Maybe I should drink coffee more carefully in the morning. Maybe, what? I made the mistake now. Now I have to go change. And that's just part of it. I just need to be aware. I've got to go change. I'm going to go change. And then you just roll on with your day. And then notice some things like that. I don't know how many times I have had an error that led to something greater happening, or how many times, life just allowing life to happen, is such a wonderful thing. But we tend to overreact to, oh my gosh, I spilt that on myself. Now I'm going to be, but you know what? You're going to be alive. You're going to be alive and you could have a better day. I was laughing with a coach this morning. He's yelling at me and said, hey, you have a wonderful day. I said, you know what? Keep your eyes open. Today could be the greatest day of your life. Right. You don't want to miss it. And I used to tell the boys that when I would drop them off at school, like, don't forget, keep your eyes open. Today could be the greatest day of your life. You never know. That switch can go on just as quick as it goes off. We can't let some little thing derail us. Because again, we go back to, we've talked about perfection. What is perfection? It's riddled with mistakes and accidents and failures and all that stuff. All those things make perfection. That's what I always argue. People, especially when I was younger, going to school, you had evolution. Be careful saying that in certain places in the Bible Belt, because oh my God, they're threatened that you're saying God doesn't exist. I'm saying God definitely exists. I'm saying that is a sign of God's perfection. That is what, did God, what the Bible says, he created the earth in 7 days. Well, what was 7 days then? Who was there? Who was there to say these are days? I mean, none of us were there. So what was 7 days to him? What was seven? Could have been 7 minutes, 7 seconds, 7 years, 7 million years. Who knows? And does it matter? See, that's the thing. It doesn't matter. The thing is, he created the heavens and the earth. That's what me, all this stuff came about out of add evolution, the Big Bang, add that. Oh, that's a big explosion. Yeah, look what it built. A beautiful home for all of us that is absolutely stunning and amazing. Just go outside and look around. Those little things, life on life's terms, so many people can't deal with that. It disrupts their life and they can't handle things that go on a little bit. I like, in sports, we talk with our players a lot about, the official is going to make a mistake. You're going to make a mistake. I'm going to make a mistake. We're all going to make mistakes. We can't dwell on those. We've got to keep rolling along and remain in awareness of what role we have to play together with our brothers and sisters trying to achieve our common goal of success. And when you do that, it's like the emotions, everybody wants to be emotional and show their emotions. It's like, that's fine. Go ahead, but don't get out of the awareness. Don't get away from what you're there for. And that's the awareness. And a lot of that is dealing with life on life's terms. An official is going to make a bad call. Hand him the ball and move on. Whatever. That's, you know, a kid said to me the other day, he's a basketball player. I said, how'd the game go? Not well. Oh, what happened? Well, I mean, we're blaming the refs. I'm like, yeah, you don't understand. I started yelling at him down the hall. I'm like, you just don't get it, do you? It's not the I guess you and all your teammates played a perfect game.
Right.
And because of that, now we can point fingers at the official. No real athlete should ever point fingers at anyone or any coach or any referee or anybody but themselves. Until you are mistake-free, there's no one to blame but you. Right. And you know what? Sometimes there's no one to blame. It just didn't work out for you. It didn't work out today. Why did the ball go in? I don't know. Like on those extra, you kick a field goal, it'll hit the goalpost. And sometimes it glances in and it's good anyway. How'd that happen? Oh my gosh, we want to dissect that. No, at the right moment, the right wind, the right trajectory. And it just caught that round pole at the right time with an oblong ball, and it just happened to ricochet in. Yet in another case, it hit it just the other and it didn't go in. Well, what's the cause of that? Nothing. It just happened.
Physics. It's physics.
Yeah, it just happened. And that's the way it went. It doesn't mean you're less of a player or less of a person or a
well, I mean, come on, kickers, come on.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't mean you're less than. It just means on that particular moment, things didn't work out the way you want them. Now, here we go. How do you deal with that? I've seen guys, their careers end. They can't recover from it. Other things involved with that, people are quick to pounce on them. And these people they don't even have the courage to put a helmet on and go and participate or try to go out for a team or risk it. Athletes are very special to me. I'll explain this real quick. Athletes are very special to me. Coaches are very special to me. It's a brotherhood. It's a sisterhood. It's a family because we put our stuff out there every single time we play for everyone to judge. And we're not going to be perfect every time. We're not going to win every game. We're not going to win a championship every year. We're just not. That's not how it works. These other people will tear down and insult because they don't know what it's like to be part of that family. They don't know what it's like if for whatever reason they were afraid to go and try out because they were afraid they wouldn't make it. Those are my second favorite. The athletes that work their butts off and they try out, but they didn't make it. And you ask them, it's like, oh man, you know what? I don't know. I wasn't good enough, and that's okay. I tried. I gave it everything I could. I did everything I could. That I have so much love for that person, that player, that athlete. It's awesome because they're not afraid. They're not afraid, not just of the so-called failure, because it's not a failure. It's character building. And when you stack blocks like that, you're planning for a phenomenal future in adulthood as a parent, as a leader of a company, as an employee, as a husband, father, brother, son, leader, teacher, coach, all these things that whatever it is you're going to be, that's a building block for that. I didn't make it. I tried. I did everything I could. I wasn't quite good enough. I can listen to those people. Those people are something else. People, and not just in the athletic world, some people in business, you try to go try something. You try to roll the dice. You did with this, what you're doing. You roll the dice. I'm trying. I'm giving effort. And when you do that, I love this. This hits home for me because dealing with life on life's terms. I had a team one time, and I always told them this. Well, I'll tell all my teams that. If you work your butt off, you give every ounce of effort you have, you do everything you possibly can, from how much rest you get, how much workout you get in the weight room, conditioning, and then practice, honing your skills. You work really hard. You give all your attention to the things you can control, which is mainly your heart, your effort, your willingness to do what it takes to be successful for the person on each side of you, in front of you, and behind you. And if you do that, people will want to see you. They'll hear about you in your town. They'll hear, oh man, yeah. Have you seen that bunch play? Listen, they lost, and it wasn't really a great game. They lost, but you know what? It was a joy to watch them play. They did everything they could possibly do to win. Everything. They fought their butts off. They just didn't come up right. And this other person's going, really? That sounds entertaining. You know what? I'm going to pay $5. I'm going to go see them next time they play. And then listen, they'll keep coming to watch you. They'll keep showing up. And you know what? They'll start rooting for you more. They will want you to win worse than you do. And the word spreads more and more. And then you just keep fighting. It will come. But you have to know it will come and just keep doing what you're doing. This is dealing with life on life's terms. See, what you could do in that situation is go, you know what? We're not winning. Coach keeps yelling at me. I can't make a shot. I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. No. That's all part of it. Remember all the failures we want to call failure? No, that's all building blocks to your success. Stack them up. And I'll never forget, it's the one game I'll always cherish in my life. And God forbid if one of these guys saw this, they'd know exactly what I'm talking about. We were playing a team, and they were better than us. They were a lot better than us. Beat us by 40 some earlier in the year. We played them at our place. I was excited. I thought we had improved a lot. I didn't think about wins though. I don't care about wins. I care about success. Like what did we get better? If we always tell, teams I coach at the start of the year, here's my goal for you this year. And more importantly, my goal for myself is to help you become a better person first and foremost. Secondly, a better player. And when you address people, it's like, we're going to put a successful product on the court, on the field. I don't know what that means in terms of wins or losses. I heard Rick Pitino say this, but it will be a successful product. You'll enjoy watching it. Now, this team, we were so excited for, and at halftime, we found ourselves down by 22 points. We're walking in the locker room, and my guys were laughing with the other team, and my heart was broken. I thought we had moved forward, but I didn't hold on to it. I got in the locker room and said, you know what, fellas? And this may sound rude or mean to people, but the truth is the truth. I said, I thought you were better than what you are. And it saddens me. I think I've failed you. So I'm going to work harder. Let's go. And so we go back up in the gym. We're standing there. I'm talking to guys right before they go back out on the floor. I look across the floor and sorry, it's the beauty of sports. I look across the floor. There's a little girl in a wheelchair, and she's not in a good spot, and it's remote. She's got to use the remote to move it. And I got all their attention, and I said, see, she's not going to have the opportunity to do what you're doing. You get to run around and play a game. She may never. Now, what are you going to do about it? What are we going to do? Do you want to take advantage of that? I don't care if we win. Doesn't look like we're going to anyway. And then fast forward, make it long story short. Kid hit a free throw and fell into my arms because he got fouled out of bounds. There's about 3 seconds left on the clock. The free throw he hit put us up by 3 points, and they ended up winning that game. But that wasn't the joy of. Yeah, it's great to win. We all love to win. But the thing about that is there was a bond even more so built there. And it wasn't just with players. There was moms, dads. And remember the fans you talk about? Like they're talking to people. Well, they want to know, hey, well, wow, what happened?
Right.
I even the next day I had some people come to the school and I guess to pick up their kid or something. But then they stopped by my office and they're like, hey, I got to ask you, what went on? How does that? I said, that's young men coming together, trying to be better people and better players. That's it.
And the lessons they learned just from that half of a basketball game will last them a lifetime, and they'll always remember that. And I have like 20 follow-up questions from everything you just said. So
one other thing, the little girl in the wheelchair, life on life's terms. That's something I can't. I mean, I can't speak to being in a wheelchair, but she's got to deal with that because, I mean, there's a point where you go into a room or wherever and there's no one else around. There you are with your wheelchair. Now, how are you dealing with that? Are we mad at God? Are we mad at something? You know, little very special young lady in my life. She's got a walker. Her legs are she's got physical issues and it'll always be like that. And the first day of school, I just met her and I made her cry and I thought, oh, geez, I shouldn't have done it. But my statement was to the class is, you know, she's an inspiration to me because things are different for her. We can sugarcoat anything we want. We can say, be sensitive. Don't say anything. She didn't give a shit. And that's what I love the most about her. She didn't care that I said something. She cried because she told me later, she's like, I was a little embarrassed. I said, well, I apologize. I didn't mean to make you cry, but you know what? You are an inspiration to me because you have to deal with something every single day that none of us here do. Now, not to say we don't have our issues. We do. But hers sticks out. People see her coming down the street. People see her coming down through campus. They see her in the mall. They see her here and there. But she just rolls with it, man. She rolls along. And I'm sure we all have our moments where we get a little frustrated and wish things weren't that way. But tough. It is that way. That's life on life's terms. That's the way it is. And don't make anything more. Just say, you know what? Yeah, I'm not happy in this moment. I'm frustrated. I'm sad. I'm angry. But you know what? Stay aware, man. Keep your eyes open. Could be the greatest day of your life.
Yeah. And the way you explain that about life on life's terms, I understand what you mean now. And it's like when I tell people, trust the universe, that because I tell my clients that all the time. Just like your example with, you know, spilling the coffee and avoiding a car accident. It's the same thing. I just never understood that that's what you meant, but the way you explained it beautifully cleared that up. That little incident with the coffee kept you from getting in an accident. And I am notorious for getting irritated with myself when I spill something or drop something or break something. I get so irritated about it, but you're right.
You're not alone.
You have to trust the universe, deal with life on life's terms. And you talked about how people get all worked up about the age of the universe. And I want to tell a story. As everybody who watches me knows, I was a classroom teacher for 20 years. And I had a student once, I teach astronomy. And I had a student come to me in tears saying he was so upset. He didn't want to make God mad if he had to pass my test and say how old the universe was because his religion told him it was only, 5 or 6,000 years old. And I said, listen, so and so, I said, God doesn't care whether you mark that right or wrong answer on the test. God doesn't care how old you think the universe is. It's okay. But it makes me think there are people who are so indoctrinated in these belief systems, especially young people, that I think it can be very damaging. And so for anybody listening, make sure you use discernment when you are teaching young people things that make them scared. You shouldn't be scared of God, that he's going to punish you because you have to take a science test. So that's my little rant about that. You also talked about emotions and awareness, and coaches who I've watched a million sporting events with you over the 30 something years we've been together. And I've seen all different kinds of things coaches do and say. And the coaches that have the guy on the sideline pulling them back, that makes me want to scream so bad, because you can't control yourself. You're a grown man. And I want to speak to a little bit about how in society at large, women are said, oh, they're too emotional. Women are too emotional. They can't do this job or that job or be president. They're too emotional. But you have NFL coaches and college, I'm sure, on the sidelines of football games who can't control themselves enough to not step over onto the football field, whatever it's called. Like the fact that that is a thing in our society makes me crazy. And
Yeah.
I know you have worked very hard in your life, as we all have overcome a million different things in our lives, whether you're a billionaire or somebody who is in an underserved community. How would you suggest a young man or woman, if a younger woman's watching, um, learn to regulate their emotions and have awareness when they are trying to deal with life on life's terms?
Nothing matters. I mean, when it's all said and done, nobody's going to care if I won a game or help or some teams win game. It's not gonna matter. What's going to matter more is you. Like my father always said, if you can't pat yourself on the back, it doesn't matter if anyone else does. You can pat me on the back and say good job, but I know what I put into it. I know the effort I put into it. And that's what's important. You hear all the cliches, processes, and this and that, and it's all the same for everybody. It's not men, women. We need to stop putting, women are too emotional and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, coaches that can. If you don't have enough sense to get off the field, knowing that could give your team a penalty, which can hurt your team, why are you coaching? You need some other grown man to grab you by the trousers and pull you back off. I'm just not about that. Times I've been in that situation through a headset. It's kind of funny, actually. They're like, "Hey, grab so and so and pull him off the field." And in that occasion, the first time that happened, the man they were talking about, who is a phenomenal. Well, I mean, he's, God rest his soul, he's no longer with us. But Ken Cooper was. I mean, he's a head coach at Ole Miss and played at Georgia. Just a legend. Beat Notre Dame 1970. The dude was amazing. Fun to be around. He only spoke unless he had something to really say. They're like, "Hey, grab Coach Cooper." Put him on my mic. I can't tell you what my reply was word for word because it wasn't probably fit for these airways. But no, I'm not touching that man. You want to do it? You go get him. And it's evident, and he wasn't in a situation to where he was on a play during the field. They were just they were clearing the field. It was a different situation there, but that just story came to mind. Emotions, and this is where it becomes, okay, I'm going to go. Let's use basketball for an instance. I'm going to go play a game. I'm going to do the things I can control. I'm in shape. I've taken care of that. I'm prepared. Let's make it shorter that way. I'm prepared to play. I've done everything I can to be prepared to play. Now, what can I control in this situation? See, that's a big thing right there. What can I control? I can control my effort. I can control my decision making. Now, this doesn't mean you're not going to make a mistake in those areas. You probably will. But you can control those more than if I shoot a basketball. If I shoot a basketball, once it leaves my hand, I cannot control whether it goes in or not. You just can't. I needed to have practiced enough that it'll give me enough of a chance for it to go in, to improve my skill set as far as shooting basketball. Okay, so I do those things, and whatever. Some nights you do it well, some nights you don't. Some nights it goes your way, some nights it doesn't. We say this about our kids all the time, you need to be, you're upset and angry because things didn't go the way you wanted. And some people never learn that lesson. They can't comprehend it for some reason. It doesn't make sense to them. They just respond with anger or frustration or substance abuse or self-inflicted harm because they just can't handle things not going their way. What they're missing out on is sometimes when something doesn't go your way, that could be the path to a bigger picture of something bigger going your way. And that's part of it. So you eliminate the end part of that, and that ultimately derails what you're doing. And then guess what? More frustration. So then we're constantly just repeating this over and over, and we're pointing fingers and we're blaming and we're this and that. If that hadn't happened, this happened. I mean, at some point we think something, God will make anything work out. He'll make anything good. You just have to get out of the way and allow him to do it. Which I tell people, get out of your own way. You're stopping your success. You're not allowing great things to happen. Allow it to happen. But it says you got to take the world by. You're not going to do that. I'm sorry. Look and take the most successful people ever. Dissect them down to the facts of what went on. Somebody's helped them. Something's gone their way. They've had some luck. A lot of luck. And that's great. Would you want that for everyone? Some of the wealthiest people in the world, probably a lot of it was handed to them. They didn't just walk out of some slum land and into the world and be like, hey, everybody, listen, I've got this idea. And then everybody went, yeah, you're a genius. Let's give you billions of dollars. That doesn't happen.
Well, but somebody gave them billions of dollars. So that's a great example. Everybody gets help somewhere along the line.
Yeah,
even if you do have a good idea, somebody's paying you for that idea in some way, form, or fashion.
Here's what we do. You'll come up to me and say, hey, that's a great idea. I want to give you $1 billion. And I'll say, I don't want that. I don't want that. Okay. I'm going over here. Because
I want $1.
That guy did something bad and it's not right. Yeah. See that, and then we blame, and it's his fault. And that's a problem. That's what I'm saying. Allow things to happen. People will. There's so much out there.
I say that all the time. I say set your intention, do the work, and allow yourself to receive.
Love that.
It's like the parable of the guy in the flood. And God told him he was going to save him. He sent a boat by and he's like, no, God's going to save me. And then he sent a helicopter by and he said, no, God's going to save me. The guy dies and goes to heaven. And God's like, why are you dead? He's like, you were supposed to save me. He goes, I sent a boat and a helicopter.
Yeah.
That's you're
We
supposed to
weren't
get
looking.
on those things.
Yeah. We weren't aware. I mean, we saw it, but we're not aware. And so, like especially when people get emotional, it's like you were saying, these emotions. I mean, should you have them? Yes. Do you need to reveal them to everyone around? No. Why? It's like the guy next to you at the red light, and he's got the music up so loud in his vehicle with the windows up that everybody around can hear it. I don't need to hear what you're listening to. I want to listen to what I would like to listen to. And even if it is what I like, it doesn't matter. I don't need to know that's another intention right there. You want others to know what we don't care. It's not important to us. We don't need to constantly, like a lot of athletes get, but well, he's over there dancing around. If you want to celebrate doing something good, like if I cook a great meal and I go dancing around the kitchen, heck yeah, that's woo, that's awesome. You should do that. I don't. It's good to have that passion. I saw the video today and it was moving. It was former Army military buddies who had been brought back together after, anywhere from 2 years to 12 years, 15 years. And they surprised them how they did it. And one guy knew, and he would sneak in and he'd just like stare at the guy and they'd look at each other. And you wouldn't believe how they would these are grown men, okay? We know how men are. They're jumping into each other's arms and they're sharing tears together because of a bond they made some years back, something they went through together. And we're all going through life together. Why wouldn't we respond this way every day? Like, I don't think my head coach would want me to run into his arms every day, but I can tell, the guys I'm with and my coaches that when we're a few days apart and we see each other, that's like we kind of huddle together for a little while, and then we share, hey, what'd you do and then we got to catch up because and the battles we've been through in the trenches, and then the film sessions and trying to, what do you think about this? And what do you think? All these things, the drives at night when it's late and this, and trying to get on the bus and this, and, all this stuff. It's a bond, and it feels good to have someone you can turn to and be like, hey, this is awesome, man. Just like that little team I was telling you about. That's something those young men will never, ever forget. But more importantly, it's not just that. That's just one spoke on the wheel. That's one of many things that when they see each other, they don't need to rehash stories. They probably will, but they don't need to. They see each other, and all of a sudden, just the visual, all these memories just come flooding through right back in, and they transport themselves right back into that time, and they're just there and they love it. And it's the people that were with them in those moments. And this is our moment. And so be aware, keep your eyes open. Today could be the greatest day of your life. And if I can share that with you and some people I know, how cool is that?
Well, you were speaking of how teams and coaches are a community and a family. And I've been speaking a lot lately about we need to build community. We need to lead with love. We need to bring people towards us, not away from us. And so the fact that sports is such an analogy for life, I just want to tell a little personal story. Coach Willett and I will celebrate our 30th anniversary of marriage coming up soon. And of course, we have been through many trials, many ups, many downs, and everything in between, as you can imagine, in 30 years of being married. And our family went through a medical emergency. Um, 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, that nearly destroyed us all because it was very dramatic and scary. And when you go through something like that, a serious medical event in a family, or even a death in the family, um, it either tears you apart or brings you closer. And so and when we navigated it, we went to family therapy. It was a whole thing. And, it's still something that affects our family to this day. And it was it was the hardest thing I think we probably went through as a family, in my opinion. And when you go through that, it bonds you together. When you get to if it hasn't destroyed your family or your community or your team or whatever group of people you want to use this analogy for, it makes your bond stronger. And you get through, if we can survive that terrible thing, we can survive anything together, And so when you go through the late night bus rides with the team or the medical emergencies with your family, or say somebody's got a problem at work and their building burned down and the work community came together and rebuilt the building, it's whatever it is, we need to continue building community across the board. And I am glad that our family survived that medical thing, and that we're still all together and love each other and bonded together. And I just feel that it takes strong leadership on everyone's part, because, like you said in a previous episode, you have to learn to follow to be a leader. You have to be able to do both. And
I think if you remember in those times, each one of us in our family took the role as leader at some point in time.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. Those are my exact words. Yeah.
And everything that happened is life on life's terms. You're not going to change any of it. You're not going to change what happened. You're not going to change the results of it. It is, you hear this all the time. It is what it is. And honestly, it is that simple. It right. is what it is. And there's no changing it.
What's
like let's rub some cream on it and the wound will go away now. No, this is a building block for your success in life, a building block to make you better, a building block to make you stronger, smarter, more focused, more dialed in, more aware. This is something good for you. Jocko, what do you say? No matter what happens, good. Okay, now that we've established that it's good, how is it good?
Right. Solution. So, what's the solution?
It's like, this is good. So I didn't get the promotion at work. Okay, well, you know what? This will help me. This means I need to better my resume. I need to make it better. And maybe I need a little more experience too. Maybe I need, to do that. A great example of me, I was thrust into a role to be a head coach when I wasn't ready. I was not ready. I was not ready. And I didn't want to be.
We talked about that last week.
But I owed it to those young men to do what I was supposed to do my part. Okay. Did I want to be thrust in that role? No. Was there any other outlet? Yes, but I wasn't going that way because that was a negative. That wasn't going to help me. That's running from the issue and not being of service to myself and to the young men around me. And you look back at it now and you're like, oh, that made me such a better coach. Mm-hmm. It made me it made it easier when you go from coaching one team to coaching 3 teams. And now after that, which is rare, but it just that situation. And then now it's back to 1 team and it's like, oh, that's way easier than 3. Can you believe that? How many practices you do a day, bro? How much, how many players are you evaluating in a day? It's a tremendous amount of work. And not to mention the laundry, washing the uniforms, setting all the scorebook up and keeping track of this and that, and all the setting announcements out. No, by the way, you're driving the bus too, my man. So all these things make you, I could have whined and cried and said, nobody will help me. You know what? Burn the boats. When we get there, burn the boats. There's no retreating. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to pull you out of here. No, it's us. Let's dig in. Let's go to work. And that's what you do. And
that's the solution. When you always talk about what's the solution, that's the part when we
identify the problem.
Right. When we identify so much with the problem, I've done that millions of times in my life, especially in my 20s and into my 30s, like, oh, the problem, and blah, 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 probably into my 50s even. But
you mean in your 30s? So last week?
Thank you, dear.
Write it down, fellas.
And I think everyone has been in the problem mindset. Eckhart Tolle talks about identification with things like people. I identify as a teacher. I identify as a coach. I identify as an actor. It's like, what if that goes away? What if it goes away? Then what are you? Who are you? And that's where the solution is. Yeah. Dealing with life on life's terms, as simple as spilling the coffee on your shirt and avoiding an accident. But also, what happens, Coach Willett, if you can never coach again? Do you, I know, hypothetical here. Do you have another type of identity? But we shouldn't have an identity. I'm a medium. I'm a scientist. I'm an adjunct professor. I teach this. I teach that. I do all these different things. If my mediumship disappeared, I would be sad. But I have other avenues of things I can do. Coach Willett, you've coached multiple different types of things in your career. You've been a leader in so many different ways in your career. And if it disappeared, I know you'd be okay. I'd be okay, because we are solutions-based people. And that's what people out in the world sometimes forget. Problem. No, let's move into the solution.
Well, and nothing would change. I would still see, my main thing is I need to improve myself daily. So I can be of maximum service to helping others improve themselves daily.
Can I show you something?
Yeah.
I have this note that says, I keep it on my desk. Guide me, lead me, show me how I may serve. I keep it on my desk. This is where I do all my readings and everything.
Absolutely.
Because that's the solution. We are not in control of anything that happens.
Right.
I'm in control of, I can turn my computer on and talk to you on my computer. I can go take a shower, right? I can, whatever, I can cook dinner. But anything outside of that, I'm not in control of. I can't control you. I can't make you do anything. You can't do that, or anybody else for that matter. We have to be in the moment and understand that we're basically flying on a rock through space and just hoping to make the best memories we can while we're here.
I worked under a coach that I think a lot of respect for him in the coaching world. And he always used to say to the team, if you make a mistake, that's on us. We should coach you better. But if you don't go 100%, that's on you, and you got to live with that. Now that puts everybody in the room of take accountability for yourself. Okay. And And at first I fought that. I disagreed. I was like, what if I've told a guy a million times to do this and he still doesn't do it? And the result I finally came to when I started coming around and seeing the light of this statement was, you know what? You didn't tell him enough. You didn't rep it out enough. You didn't explain it easy enough. You didn't keep it simple. I didn't do enough to help this person. So, and a lot of coaches, well, he doesn't hear me. He doesn't do this. He blah, blah. Maybe you're not saying it loud enough. Maybe you're not saying it the correct way. Maybe you're not saying it in a way that he will understand. You say it and you understand it. Yeah, obviously. Maybe I understand it. Maybe the others understand. But the important thing is that he understands it, because that's the one who needs to understand it. So that needs to be made simple. I love the kids aren't listening to me. No, they're not. Of course they're not. They're watching you, though. I promise you that. They are watching you. And maybe
they
you gotta
pick up
say it.
on everything.
Oh yeah, you got to say it 4 million times. And if you do, maybe on the 4 millionth time they hear it, and it saves her. I can't tell you how many times I've had a senior player who's run the same play for 4 years. He finally realized what it was his senior year, and he's like, "Man, that play really works." I'm like, "You've been doing it for 4 years, dude." And we have a good laugh about it. But that was a compliment. At least I kept grilling it into him. So I felt, okay, well, I did my job there, because he understands. If he never understood and he left there, then I didn't do my job. And this is not just for teachers or coaches, it's people. First of all, don't get upset if people aren't listening, because that accountability needs to come around to them, and that's what they need to deal with. They should be listening to improve themselves, which means any opportunity you have, which is an enormous amount every day you wake up, is an opportunity for you to hear, see, taste, touch, smell something that will help you improve as a person. And it's up to you and your perspective to understand that and carry that into other situations. That incident with our family we went to, that made us all much better people, way better people. Now, could we have told you that in those moments? No.
Mm-mm.
That was not cool.
I use this example all the time with my mediumship clients, and it might sound callous or harsh. My mom died, as you know, my mom died when I was 15. Suddenly she fell dead at my feet in my bedroom. And yeah, it was terrible. It was horrible. And I had to move from a small town in Missouri to San Francisco, essentially overnight, to live with my dad and his family that he had created. And it was awkward and weird. And however, from the moment she died, my mom died, I knew wholeheartedly, and this may sound crazy to anybody listening, I knew she died so I could be free. And my younger sister, I knew she died for us, essentially. She sacrificed herself, giving up the will to live, essentially, is what happened. I mean, she was sick, but not that sick. And my life, I got more opportunities to have a better life because she died. Now, to most 15-year-old girls, their mother dropping dead at their feet would be the most traumatic event of their life. And let me tell you, that was not the most traumatic event of my life. However horrible it was, but it led me to a better life. Absolutely gave me so many more opportunities to create the life I have now that I would never, ever, ever have had she survived.
Well, I think her dropping dead at your feet is why it happened is irrelevant. Life on life terms is that's what happened. Period. That's what happened. And then more opportunities came your way, good, bad, sad, whatever. You chose to make the best of those. And like you just said, your life became better. So you have a role to play in it, and you played it, and you chose better. You chose to try to better yourself in all those situations. That's exactly life on life's terms. As yeah, nobody wants, we can pay, like you said, you were saying this the other night, the exact same thing. We notice a blanket. It's a Christmas blanket. The Grinch is on there, and it's beautiful, and it brings us memory. It does all these things. But true awareness is not noticing those things. It's a blanket. But even more true awareness is not even noticing that it's a blanket. It's just an object. That's it. I'm not saying you shouldn't appreciate things. No. But that's what it is. It's an object. And that object, when it comes right down to it, could be very useful on a cold night. That's where the importance comes in. So not letting things, that was a situation, wow, that happened. Yeah, I'm sad. You should be. Frustrated. Yes. A little shell shock. Yeah, I mean, that's not a normal thing. And it is what it is, And then you let's move on into the positive. Adversity popped up for you. Situation. This is not what I planned on. No. But all of that, all this stuff leads to a better way. If you keep searching and you keep staying in the moment and you keep finding the great things every day that are in your life and around you, and keeping a good, solid, positive perspective on things. And your process, those athletes joke about it, trust the process. It's kind of true. I mean, yeah. If your process is to become a better person in the proper way and to assist the people around you into becoming a better person, then yeah, trust the process. If your process is how to become a great professional bank robber, yeah, you might want to look into changing that to something different. But if you want to be part of a team, join the human race. I mean, this whole thing of all this crazy stuff with, we're going to kick these people out of the country, and that person's of another color or of another culture or of another religion or a political background, or what, all these things create divide, and it's not necessary. It's like, I love the cultures and the colors and the people and the, even if you don't agree with me, it doesn't matter, really. Remember, it doesn't matter if you agree with me or not.
Right.
Let's
love each other.
Become better. That's all.
Yeah. Let's love each other. Build community.
It's not a crazy drawn out process, but see,
labels
will latch on to things, which, like you've alluded to as we've had these wonderful discussions, is, some young men, they want to be men. And so they're listening, they're looking. And then you've got people who don't know what they're talking about, spewing out what a real man is. And that's some of it is wrong. It's not what a real man is. And that needs to be, if you're doing that, please stop.
Right. Right.
You don't realize, and I think this is very important for your viewers to hear, is we don't realize that every little thing we say has an effect on everyone around us. And not just that, but they take that to the people around them away from you. And then it becomes powerful there. And it may not be talked about. It may not be regurgitated a lot and all, but it's been planted, and people take that with them. So be mindful of what you're saying to people. We all have a duty. I hate when people say, well, it's not my responsibility. This is my show. I can say whatever I want. Yeah, that's true. But what do you want to say? You want to be negative to people? You want to be mean to people? You want to teach them the wrong things? You want to teach them something that's going to have a negative impact on their life? This is what you want to do?
Be more responsible.
Okay. I'll accept that. Life on life's terms. You do that. Well, I got a voice too. And I want the best for the people out there. I want everyone to be successful. I want I root more and more and more. I love the San Francisco Giants. Love them. And you know what I started doing? I started loving the Dodgers too, because that's a
And
wicked.
they hate each other.
They hate each other. I've been live to those games and what they say to each other. I've seen fights in the stands. I've seen people escorted out for cussing at the workers and all on the street in downtown San Francisco. Some Dodger fan just had to say something to some Giants fan, and you're like, well, we better move along quick because this is getting ready to get bad right here.
Yeah,
these things happen. So I don't like that in sports where people just want to take up arms against a rival team. What is a rivalry? I love the rivalry. Like Yankees, Dodgers, Yankees, Red Sox. And I love seeing the uniforms on the field. I went and bought a Dodger hat. I wear the Dodgers hat around. I keep up with the Dodgers. I love the Dodgers. Love the Giants.
Much to my chagrin.
Why can't you love that rivalry? Why can't you people, it's like, you know what? I really want to beat that team.
Well, we've been
but it's okay if we can compete the right way. Because don't forget, there's young people watching you play and on the street when you're a fan and they hear and see things. And what they're being taught is hate.
Yes. And
they're being taught disregard for someone else's physical and emotional well-being. This is what you're teaching. Is that what you want to teach your or any child? I don't. I want to teach them how to properly have a good rivalry where I can compete with you. I can get rough and physical with you, but I can also help you up afterwards. I can also give you a hug and say, hey, thank you for making me a better person today. You kicked my butt out here. Now I'm going to go get better. Or I kicked your butt. I'm going to treat winning better. I'm going to be a better winner today by helping you up and giving you a hug saying, hey, great effort today. I really enjoyed our matchup, and I look forward to the next time we play. I really like to beat you. I know you want to beat me too.
And just as we're wrapping up here, I just want to say this is the whole analogy to what's going on with all of the division right now happening in the United States. We were taught so much to divide and hate other in sports, in humanity, with different races, different religions, et cetera. And it's like, why can't we just love each other and help each other? It's by design. Wait, I want to go to, it's by design, but I want to go to this photo that you helped me design. Would you mind explaining what this picture represents for you?
This is a human being who is he's dealing with a lot of turmoil. The storms, the I guess tragic things going on around. We'll call it life out there spinning around and causing destruction and all this stuff. And he's trying to rebuild himself out of something very strong. And he's got to work on this every day. So he's laying brick every day. And it's not just external, it's internal. He's got stuff inside of him. That he's got to deal with and which helps on the outside as well, fighting or dealing with those things. Not really fighting them, you're dealing with them. How do I deal with, the storm out here? How am I dealing with the storm inside? Sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I don't feel like it. Well, and you got to do it.
You said something really important there. He has to build himself up before he can help build the outer. You always have to heal yourself first. You can help in other ways, but you're not going to heal the world if you're not healed. You're not going to build good relationships if you're not healed. You can have relationships. They're not going to end up being the healthiest if you're not healed. And that's both ways. That's not just one-sided.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and the other thing that's really cool that I love about that picture is that it's not waiting. Like the storm is not paused.
Right.
So you can get to shore. That's not happening. You've got to do it while you're getting there. Like you're navigating through life and through the world while you're laying brick every day. That's
Exactly.
important. And that's that. But again, life on life's terms, all those things help make you better. They help make you stronger, more wise, more sensitive, give you better perspective. Uh, and just know that's part of it. Perfection, again, does not exist. It comes with the storm, a hurricane, earthquake, tidal waves, all that stuff. It's part of making you better. If you look at, take a baseball player. He hits 3 out of 10 times he goes to bat. He gets a hit 3 times out of every 10. That's 30%. That's terrible. He does that over a career. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You're going to lose more than you win. Michael Jordan took hundreds of game-winning shots. He only made 26. We applaud him, say he's the GOAT, which he is. Say he was phenomenal and all that stuff, but he only did it 26 times. Nick Saban, greatest college football coach of all time. He has 6 national championships. You know how many years he's coached? Like 47. So, or some crazy number. So he lost 41 times.
Right. And on that note,
wow. I mean,
I know.
We say they're great. Like all those things, they will tell you those losses made me better. And that's what they remember. That's what Tom Brady, he's got more Super Bowls than any team in the NFL. And I've heard him say, because we're best friends, there's a whole story behind that too. We're not best friends, but I've heard him say, I don't remember the wins. I only remember the losses. And a guy said to him one day, why? Well, that's that's a little rough. Why would you only? Because that's what makes me better.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, see, now that gives me chills even hearing it again. It's
exactly.
That's important. That's what makes you better, because it's not a failure. It's not. That's just what happened in that moment. Okay, let's get better from it. That's all you do. It's that simple. Don't let I yell this at my kids all the time, especially when they're in a stressful situation physically, because they've been running a lot of conditioning. And it's like, don't listen to your mind, because there's a moment in heavy physical conditioning where your mind will start talking to you and start lying to you and saying things like, oh, your legs are tired. Oh, you could fake an injury. Oh, you just go get a drink of water. Oh, you don't need to be here. But all these things, don't listen to it. Your mind is lying to you. Don't listen to it. Be stronger than what you are right now. Here's your opportunity. And I love it. These dudes, they'll respond. They'll be like, you see them making faces and do all stuff. And I know I've been through it. I've had the stuff yelled and said to me. It's helped me. And I'm just passing it on. It's just, if I say I'm a conduit there, does that go with that? Am I using that word right?
Yes.
I got one right then. I'm a conduit there. I took something great and I passed it on to someone else. I didn't invent it. I didn't create it. Don't take ownership of that. It's not yours. It's ours. Pass it on. It's fine.
And I love that. And on that note, Coach Willett, another incredible episode, learning to deal with life on life's terms, guiding others, being smart if you're on social media, using your voice, Coach Willett, instead of spreading false narratives like some other people may do out there. You're using your authentic, wonderful leadership voice to help mold minds for the future. Thank you so much, darling. We will see everyone next week. Have a wonderful day.